What is up, guys? John Pap here from JohnPapFitness.com, Acceleration Fitness. And this week, it is episode number 35 of 5 tips to lose weight, gain strength, and get jacked. This week, I am going to be talking to you about how to gain strength and stay lean and shredded and jacked at the same time, right? So commonly, it's thought of kind of in fitness is, to gain strength and put on mass, like fast, you have to kind of sacrifice and let your body fat go up and bulk, right? But that is not the case. You can stay lean while still gaining strength. There's a lot of dudes and women, there's a lot of people out there that, are absolutely jacked out of their minds and still getting strong. It's still very, very strong. Some of the strongest in the world, they're absolutely shredded, right? So you look at a lot of the powerlifters that are at the top right now, a lot of them are very, very shredded and jacked and lean, right? Now there's exceptions, but a lot of them are. So there are ways to do it. Why I think I can talk about this is because I have taken all my lifts from, I think when I started out, just looking back, I probably could deadlift 225 maybe legitly without rounding over too bad, and now I'm upwards of, I've got to meet this Saturday and I'm looking to hit 530 535 on deadlift, and I've maintained a very low body fat percentage the whole time and kept six pack the whole time. So I think that I do have a right to talk about this a little bit and give you guys some tips of what's helped myself and what I see from other people, and especially the other trainers around me here. We all train together, and they're very strong and very lean, and some of the even top bodybuilders, right, are very strong. So you look at guys like Stan Efferdine and others, they are absolutely jacked out of their mind, but they're also very, 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 very strong. So with that, guys, let's get into it. So number one, how I like to train, because I do like I like powerlifting, but I also like the bodybuilding, the pump work, and the volume work like that. So I'm not one of the people who likes to do, who likes to squat and bench on the same day, right? I enjoy the bodybuilding style of things as well as the powerlifting side of things. So number one is train heavy first, all right? Train heavy first. So you're basically going to take your workout, start with your compound movement, your heavy movement, no matter what that is, if it's a deadlift, a squat, bench, overhead press, something like that. Do your heavy movement first, and that's, you can, and by heavy, I don't necessarily mean like singles, doubles, triples. You can still work into 5s and 6s, even 8s and 10s if you're doing, maybe a volume block. But start heavy first, then decrease the weight as you go along through the workout. And going into number two is high volume later in the workout. So I love, say it's a bench day, I love to start out with heavy bench no matter what the variation is. All kinds of variations I like to use. But do the heavy bench, and then, an accessory movement is pretty heavy, but then from there, that's still a little bit lighter, so it's a closed grip bench, an overhead press, something similar, a dumbbell bench, but it's still pretty heavy. But then after that, I get into the more bodybuilding style things. This is popular with the conjugate method too of powerlifting. Kind of the West Side type of stuff. They start with that heavy and then they move into the lighter, and I really like that because you can still get, that mass building and focus on building certain areas of your body, the kind of bodybuilding style, but you still did your strength work to start out. So high volume later. And when I say high volume, I mean high volume. Like, for example, on my bench days, like I said, say it's the variation is regular flat bench with a pause, right? So I do that heavy. Then a little bit lighter, maybe heavy dumbbells for 6s or 8s or even 10s, 12s, 20s, something like that. Then from there, I'll go into very high reps. So like maybe it's push downs with a band. I'll do 100 reps of those, or push-ups on a bar, deficit push-ups, or something similar like lighter triceps, rollbacks, extensions, anything like that. Maybe I'll do 60, 100 reps. So it's going to be very, very high rep, very high volume. Get a lot of blood to the muscle, just like the bodybuilders kind of like. But I already did that strength work. So that is kind of how I like to mix it, and how I know quite a few people do as well if they're kind of following a conjugate style or something similar. Number three is secondary lighter workouts. So I will usually do a heavy, I follow the conjugate, so max effort, or modified conjugate, I would say. Max effort on Sunday, then, or excuse me, a lower body lower body workout on Sunday, upper body on Monday. Then usually on Tuesday I'll do some type of, pump work bodybuilding, where I'll do like, more of a bodybuilding split, so like a back and biceps, or I'll throw shoulders in there, something like that, where it's not going to tax my nervous system, but I'm still getting workout and still get to focus on those areas that I want to improve. Maybe I'll throw some arms in there, at least biceps, right? So core work, stuff like that. And then I'll do, take a day off usually. Maybe I'll do another light workout depending on how I feel that week, depending on how taxing the upper and lower was that on Sunday and Monday that week. But then from there, you'll move into kind of, another upper and lower, but I usually up the volume on that. And then maybe one more workout. So really I'm training 5, sometimes even 6 days a week, usually not 6, but some occasionally. And, so you still get a lot of heavy work in that's going to tax your central nervous system, but you kind of combat that by the lighter workouts, the back, biceps, shoulders, core, stuff like that, that's going to not challenge you that much, but you're still working towards that, you're still building and kind of having fun with it, because like I said, I enjoy the bodybuilding style as well as I enjoy the powerlifting. I like to lift, right? So that is with that. Now, number 4 is using the big 3, and then really the big 4, I would say, your squat, bench, deadlift variations, and then an overhead press, or in something, a vertical press as well. It's really going to do wonders. Use those, any variation. You can use box squats, pause squats, front squats, Zercher squats, safety bar, anything like that, kind of pulling from the powerlifting side. And then overhead press variations as well. You can even use heavy dumbbells on that. But use those for your heavy work, and then move into, your lighter, high volume isolation exercise, your tricep direct, or direct tricep, or direct bicep, direct shoulder, chest, something like that, So just use the big compound movements first, whatever it is, whatever variation. And that's another thing on top of that, rotate the variations, right? Because if you do the same, flat barbell bench press, your bench is going to improve, but there's going to come a time and point that it kind of starts to stall. And also, you'll have a more well-rounded physique if you change things up. So do heavy dumbbell presses, do flat bench, change angles. So go low incline, medium incline, high incline, overhead presses, add pauses, do speed work, volume work. All those things are going to build your strength, but still get the volume in that you need for the size. So that is number 4. Use the big 4, right? Commonly referred to as the big 3. I'm calling it the big 4. Then number 5, keep your diet in check. All right. So I have been on both sides of things. I have tried the dirty bulk thing, and you put on mass, but I also put on a lot of fat percentages, or a lot of fat mass. My fat percentage went up, is what I'm trying to say. And then I've also, right now, I'm still gaining mass. I'm still putting on size, but my diet is in check and my strength is going up, right? So if you keep your diet in check, you can do both. You can get big increases on your numbers as well as put on mass, look good, get that beach body that you want, because everybody wants to look good, right? And with that, I could probably do a whole show on this, but, you have to eat for one, right? So you're not necessarily cutting like you would for a bodybuilding show. You don't need to do that, because you don't need to be that low percentage. And once you get into that, then you do run into problems gaining strength, right? And putting on mass, because you're just not eating as much, you're carb depleted, all that. So eat the carbs, eat the lean meats, eat the fats. I'm not going to go too far into it. That's about as specific as I'm going to get, which is not very specific at all. I'll probably do a separate show just on that later. But that is it, guys. Your 5 tips: increase strength while still getting jacked or staying jacked, right? So that is it, guys. Episode 35, like I said, is done. Check out other social medias here. I've got putting out lots of content on everything. And also, don't really mention this that often, but I kind of said at the beginning, johnpatfitness.com. I have kind of all my articles pulled from everywhere, all my, the publications that I've written for, whether it's Fitness RX, Men's Journal, Stack, Active Times, other things like that. And I kind of all put them in a central location there. So if you're ever bored and want to read, kids are passing by here staring at me while I'm talking to myself. But if you ever want to do that, just head to johnpepfitness.com, guys. Other than that, JPap on Snapchat, JohnPepFitness on pretty much everything else. Hit like, subscribe, let me know that you're watching, not wasting my time here. And that is it, guys. Episode 35 is done.